Welcome back. In this tutorial, I am assuming that you've already activated Make My Dayplan. This will give you an idea of how to get started once you've activated it. We're greeted with this question, asking if we want to use the Setup Assistant. Yes, we want to use the Setup Assistant because it just gives us a bit of a guide as to what to do and when to do it. So you can see here there's all these red boxes and numbers. So what we need to do is start with number 1 and then work our way down. So number 1 is next to the Monday of week 1. We've got to enter a date. It doesn't matter if you teach on that day or not. It doesn't matter if you're setting this up and it's already week 6, it's already week 12. What was the Monday of week 1? So for me, you can see it puts in the year for you. Just tell it the day and the month. Weeks before break, how many weeks in your first term? How many weeks in that break? This just informs the dates and it makes the program work for you. The daily start time, of course all these things are going to vary depending on where you are, and the daily finish time does need to be in 24-hour time. So once you've done those, you'll notice that number 1 is now up here, and instead of typing something in next to number 1, because there's already something typed in there, we need to click on the link and it takes us to this page, the items page. There's 4 separate things to set up on the items page. Let's start with the yard duties. Simply go ahead and enter in your yard duties for the week. With the duties, I'm just going to show you quickly how they work. You can see down here that we've got our yard duties. If I go to the Monday day plan, which is currently blank, it tells me that I have duties recess on the oval. We just flick back and we see, yep, recess oval, that's correct. If I was to put in recess, say 10:30 recess, we'll look at how to set the day plan in another tutorial. Recess oval duty. You can see that it comes up there for us. Everything else that we enter into the day plan doesn't change the color except for before school, after school, recess, lunch. Similarly, if I went to Tuesday and I put in lunch, it would show us first lunch courtyard duty. So it reminds us up here and also in amongst the lessons. Back to the items page. The repeating items are simply subjects that can have the same description every time they're taught. It might be something like silent reading, where you always do the same thing. You don't need to put in a different lesson plan for each time you teach it. So let's try that. Silent reading. So there you have it. It's definitely helpful to put in more detail rather than less, because this is the sort of thing that can help a substitute teacher if they come in. It's definitely worth being detailed in this. The more detail that you use, the more it's going to help someone that's teaching your class, substitute relief teacher. Once you've typed in the details, just need to click on update, and then you can add in as many as you want. Alright, so we can keep on going and adding more and more. I'll just show you how they're used over on the day plan page. Just go ahead and choose assembly, and you can see it drops in the information for you. So you can use that in any of the day plan pages. It doesn't matter what week it is, it's always going to be there as that description, unlike other plans that you can look at in a different tutorial, which will give you a different description every time that you change the week or change the day. Similarly, the silent reading. Alright, now back to the items page. All day events. This is just to stop you from planning to do a particular lesson on a day where you're not going to be teaching. So it could be that you've got an athletics carnival. Now with these you can enter in up to 100 for the semester, which would be probably every day of the semester. Athletics carnival, that's what we'll call it. It happens to be on the 31st of March. Oops, maybe that's a weekend. Let's try the 3rd of April. And that pops in, so it has to be within the term time. It has to be on a day that you are teaching within the term time. So we've got athletics carnival in there. We can put in things like professional development. So PD day, you might want to put in more description than that. And that's happening on the 7th of June. Let's just put that in there so we can see, you can add a new one. We've got the 2 different ones there. If we select it, it shows us what date it is. That's pretty straightforward. But what it actually does is, if we go over onto our plans page and we create a new subject, we'll look at this in more detail later on. But for now, we've created a new subject, and this subject called English, if we scroll down to those dates that I mentioned, you can see Athletics Carnival is on the 3rd of April, and then I've actually got to go later on in the semester. Athletics Carnival, and then the PD day on the 7th of June. So that's how they work, and as you're typing in your learning experiences, you don't actually type anything into those days because you know you won't be using it on that day in the regular way. Back to the items page, and class birthdays, so just a chance for you to put in who's having a birthday and when. So if I was to put in David, and I was to put in Greg, and then update, and then we go, so that's Monday the 6th of Feb, Wednesday the 8th of Feb, so let's just go to Wednesday. We can see we're on week 2, so we change this up here to week 1. Greg's birthday comes up for us in there, so it's just a reminder. If you've got multiple children on the one day that are having their birthday, then you just put them in here together, update it. Now we're going to the Monday, need to change it to week 1, and it's David and Teresa's birthday, so they both come up. If we go, and we've got on the Friday, we could just put Saturday for Tom, because we've only got Monday to Friday here. Say you've got a child on the weekend that's having a birthday, we can do it like that. And we have a look. We're going to the Friday of week 1, and we can see Saturday is Tom's birthday. So it just can be used in that way. Similarly, if you're getting towards the end of the term, you've got a break coming up, and their birthday's in the break, you could put it in there on the last day of the term, just as a reminder so that you can celebrate that child's birthday. We'll go back to the items page and see we've actually got something in all of those boxes now. And if we go to the home page now, we can see that additional items is done. And because we've made a unit plan, it's ticked that one off for us as well. But there's plenty more we can do in additional items, and plenty more we can do in the unit plans. But it just shows us that we've done something in there. So that's a little bit on how you can get started with the setting up of Make My Day Plan, including the additional items. Thanks for watching. If you've got more queries, try the other tutorials, and feel free to send me an email.